That's okay, because that's exactly what we're going to share with you guys today, and we would like to start off with a little skit. Hey, how are you? How was your summer?
I'm good. How was yours?
Good. I can't believe we're juniors now.
I know, it's crazy. It's like it just flew right by.
I know. So have you finally decided on a major?
No, not yet. I was hoping something hit me on my way to the cab.
Oh my gosh. Well, mine is ESE.
It's ES who?
ESE, you've never heard of ESE?
No, I can't say I have.
Exceptional Student Education?
No.
Special Ed, girl.
Oh, no. I still don't know what you're talking about.
My goodness. Just come with me to Coddle. I'll tell you all about it.
But the cab.
No, forget about that. So this is a conversation that happens to us all the time. Whenever we tell people that we're ESE majors, they either kind of heard about it or they look at us like we're crazy and we have 5 heads. So what is exceptional student education?
Well, exceptional student education is the education of students who have special needs and they have differences that need to be addressed in a different way from other students in your classroom.
So a team of teachers will notice a student that's kind of struggling. They'll then assess the student, and with those results, they'll develop an IEP, or an individualized education plan, in order to help that student get back on track. Some areas of special needs that we'll be working with are challenges with learning, like dyslexia.
Communication challenges, as Mr. Michael mentioned earlier, we are ESOL endorsed, so we work with ESOL and ELL students.
We will be working with emotional and behavioral disorders like depression.
Physical disabilities, such as being wheelchair bound and needing extra help.
And developmental disabilities like brain injuries. Now, here at the great Bethune Cookman University, our education program is extremely rigorous. Like stated before, we have a lot of requirements that are not required from education students at Daytona State and even UCF. Some of those requirements are:
we have to take and pass the general knowledge portion of the Florida Teacher Certification Exam, which consists of 4 parts: math, English, reading, and an essay portion.
We also have about 132 hours of coursework, and that includes internships. And as far as our internships, we have 3 different ones. The first is in an elementary school, the second in a middle school, and the third is one of our choice. And we also have
to take and pass the subject area and professional areas of the Florida Teacher Certification Exam. The professional is more like rules and regulations and laws that have been passed in history of education. And the subject area is the certain area that you plan on teaching in your teaching career.
Now, as we said before, because of these rigorous requirements, we're already a step ahead of all of our competition when it comes time for us to find a job. Now, under the direction of our wonderful teacher, Dr. Senna, who's here with us today, she keeps our cohort extremely busy. And our cohort is made up of about 9 girls who came to support us today as well. And we do a lot of field work. We go to various middle, elementary schools, we judge science fairs, and all that good stuff. So, to talk about our field experience, Michelle will start off, and she'll tell you guys what we did at Westside Elementary.
Well, at Westside Elementary, we did what we called a progress monitoring routine. And basically, progress monitoring is just a systematic approach to assessing students' progress. And we did this using an assessment called DIBELS, which stands for Dynamic Indicators of Basic Early Literacy Skills. And what we did was we administered the DIBELS assessment to them to find out where they are. And then we did different reading interventions with them. With my student, we would read to each other. I would read to him, he would read to me, and as he was reading, I would ask him questions to check his comprehension to make sure he was understanding what he was reading. And then every time we came back, we would administer another DIBELS exam, and we charted their progress, and every time we visited the school, his reading increased.
Next, we went to Campbell Middle School, and we worked with a group of about 15 boys, each of which had their own developmental, maybe emotional, or physical disabilities. Now, all of us were given a different reading comprehension strategy, and mine was story mapping. In story mapping, you have to list the setting, the characters, the outcome, the plot, and finally what happened in the end. Now my boys did not know what story mapping was. They certainly did not care what story mapping was, and they did not find it relevant. The only thing that was relevant to them, however, were the 9 cute college girls that just walked into their class. So, the cool thing about what I'm learning for ESE is the importance of differentiating your education and making it fit that learner. So what I did was I asked the boys, what do you guys want to be when you grow up? Both of them said they wanted to play professional football. Well, as adults, we know how hard it is to get into the league. And we also know how important it is to have an education and a plan B. So then, my boys and I, we figured out exactly what it took for them to graduate high school, to go on to college, to find a degree, and of course, to graduate. And then play a little football on the side as their plan B. So when we're working in these schools, we're not only teaching learning, reading, and writing strategies, but we're teaching some life skills as well. We recently went to the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind in St. Augustine, Florida. And if any of you guys have ever seen the movie Ray, this was the school that he went to and he donated money to up until his death.
Our visit to the Florida School of Deaf and Blind was absolutely amazing. It was astonishing to see how many accommodations and modifications there are out there in education for these students, these low-incident disability students. And it was all free. It's a public school, and so everything was free. And it was just a great experience for us to see that environment.
Finally, our job outlook.
Well, due to the increasing enrollment and continuing development of the education program, the special education services, the job outlook is expected to increase by 17% in the next 10 years. And that's not just being a special education teacher, but also paraprofessionals.
We can also be occupational therapists and speech pathologists. Finally, I'm sure you guys want to know how much money we'll be making. So, with a bachelor's degree in special education, we'll be making around $33,770 per year.
And with a master's degree, $46,828 per year.
And finally, with the doctor's degree, we'll be making around $52,250 a year. And then, Michelle, we will be
balling!
That concludes our presentation. We would like to thank Dr. Senna for keeping our cohort so busy and making this presentation that much easier to talk about. And of course, Dr. Dunbar for presenting us with this opportunity. Do you have any questions? No? And on a side note, this is a card that the boys from Campbell Middle School presented to us to thank us for all the help that we gave them.